Great day, attractive thinker. Dr. Toni Hatton here, your identity coach and get to the root specialist at theattractivethinker.guru. This is where we support you with mental tools for mental healing, mental strength, and mindset maintenance for new and aspiring entrepreneurs. Why do you need that? Because mental shifts have to take place in order for you to see progress with your goals, in order for you to see progress in your life, in order for you to change and transform your life. Mental shift, the change happens inside first before you see the actual reality of that change in your life. Welcome, my co host, Tichet Bradshaw, to another episode of Beyond the Break. Give yourself a fighting chance.
Happy Mindset Monday, everybody. We made it again to another week full of power. We get to do what we've never did, go where we've never gone, and have all that we deserve to have in this lifetime. It's such a great day to be alive.
It is a fantastic day to be alive. Attractive thinkers, I hope you have your attractive thinker notebooks handy and your pen and pencil. I also encourage you, if you have not already done so, like our fellow attractive thinkers, get your copy of the Attractive Thinker Transformational Experience on Amazon right now, because this 726 page full color hardcover transformational experience is something that you'll need on your entrepreneurial journey. It can shift you right in the middle of your day. It can help you start your day. It has resources. We call it a mental breakfast. What are you having for your mental breakfast today? We outline that in this transformational experience. You may be in the position of making a decision right now, or you may be stuck between decisions, or you may be celebrating an accomplishment right now. Wherever you find yourself on your entrepreneurial journey, you'll be able to find support in this Attractive Thinker Transformational Experience on Amazon. Today, we're going to be talking about reacting versus creating. Now, you get the opportunity to choose. You're either going to react to life or you're going to create life. Tichet, talk to us, because I want the attractive thinkers and visual encouragers to hear your take on this topic, reacting versus creating, because we're doing it all day long.
Absolutely. One of the things that a lot of us don't know is that we are creating. We're creating situations. We're creating an ideal life. We're creating a perception, right? We're creating our perception to how we see a thing, right? And the habits that come with that perception. The mindset, we always talk about mindset maintenance. You just talked about the mental breakfast that we have. That mental breakfast, when you're creating an experience called life, right? And you want your experience to be something worthy, something valuable, something that you love, that you can be proud of. Because a lot of us, we want to be proud of ourselves. We want to feel loved. We want to feel accepted. We want to feel alive, more importantly, right? In order to do that, you have to create a life that mirrors that. You have to create a life that reflects that. And the way to do that is to understand that whenever you're creating from the perception of who you desire to be, who you're working towards, not who you thought you were, right? Because who you thought you were may have been in a situation of having circumstances and stuff happening, and you decide that you're responding to those circumstances. And as you respond to that circumstances, you take that circumstances into your heart. And then you keep going through life as if those circumstances is happening over and over and over again. And so you're going through life responding, where when you allow yourself the freedom to be anew and allow yourself the ability to take the responsibility to create something other than the hindrances that are behind you, you are creating a life that is more than what you can imagine. You're allowing yourself to walk into a power that you had no idea was there. You're allowing yourself to see your life in a way that most people, unfortunately, may not get to enjoy or may not get to experience. So when you are creating, just understand you can't react and create at the same time, right? It all depends on what you see. So when you are creating, when you look at the word creating and you see the C in the front, you are creating. You are intentional. You are going through life intentionally creating experiences, intentionally making decisions, intentionally having interactions, intentionally manifesting some things, intentionally saying yes or no to some things based on who you are. When you put the C in the middle of reacting, when you change that one little change, that shift in how you see, right? When you are reacting, you're just kind of going with everything. This happened, so now you're upset, and that happened, now you're upset, and you feel like that there's no, it takes away the possibilities of you creating what you desire, but it doesn't. When you stop reacting to everything and start intentionally creating everything, you understand the outcome of creating, but a lot of times we never understood the outcome, which is why a lot of times we didn't react in a way that creates, right? When we are intentional in life, you have to pay attention to everything. You have to pay attention. First and foremost, we have to have a foundational view of who we are and what we want our life to be. A foundational view, meaning you understand that if I had to take a picture of what I want my life to look like, it's like this. So then when anything changes, you are aware of what changed, how it changed, what caused it to change. For instance, I have a photographic memory, right? And I was teaching my daughter this. I was in a room, I was in my family room, and I had just cleaned the room, right? And I had this bookshelf that I had in the room. And I put, little knickknacks and different books and different things in its place. And I had it clean. And you have a photographic memory, a foundational view of how that room looks. So I told her, this is how much I want you to pay attention. So I told her to turn around. I said, look at this room, pay attention to this room, take a snapshot of it. This is how you be aware of your surroundings. Take a snapshot of it. Then I told her to turn around. And then as she turned around, I moved one thing. It could be a small thing, it could be a big thing. And then after I moved that one thing, I told her to turn around. Now, based on the view that you have, that foundational view of what you have concerning this room, what moved? And that's how much detail we have to pay attention, because sometimes something will move in your life that you're responding to or reacting to, and you don't know where the reaction is coming from. And then you start doing it over and over again, not realizing you created a habit responding to something that wasn't even supposed to be a part of your life. This is how we have to do across the board. Even when we eat, we have to pay attention to how our body responds when we eat certain things. This is why I say we can't mindlessly go through life, but we have to go through life intentionally, creating a life that serves us. To create a life, you want to be healthy, you got to eat healthy. You want to be powerful, you gotta pour the power into you every single day. You have to build and build and build your mindset maintenance and your mental muscle, right? You can't just let it sit there and think it's going to build itself. You have to build your vision. You have to go through with all that it takes to create your vision, and not just reacting to somebody else's vision for you. Not just constantly in a state of acting over and over again to what has happened, but being intentional with creating more instances, more situation, more experiences that allows us to learn and grow and be at peace and love and live in passion at the same time. So everything you desire is a possibility. It's a possibility for you can be all, have all, do all. It's a possibility. But we have to be intentional with allowing ourselves to make decisions to not have things in place that, like we said last week with settling, we have to not settle for something that silence the hunger, let that hunger ride until you get what you want. You got to get, you have to allow yourself to keep open the space for what you want when that thing that you want comes in, not just getting the artificial thing that will, will just, it'll do for now. We got to get out of the it'll do for now. We have to get into intentionally saying, this is what I want, and I'm not going to stop until I get it. This is what I need to be. This is who I need to, this is who I need to be. This is what I need to do in order for us to create or live that lifestyle. Because in order to live a lifestyle, you have to be a certain thing. You have to be a certain way. Because healthy people don't eat in ways that keep causing them to be sick. Powerful people don't sit there with negative self-talk all day, beating themselves up over the head over something they can't change. So you have to be intentionally and be consistent with creating a life that's worthy and valuable, and knowing that it's all possibility. But it starts from understanding the foundational view that you have in your life. What do you see? Back to you, Dr. Toni.
Wow. Healthy people don't sit and beat themselves up every day. You also said you have to be, in order for you to live a lifestyle, you have to be a certain thing. You have to be it. We attract who we are, not what we want. Tichet, this is an amazing topic today. Attractive thinkers, I hope you're capturing these gems, because while you were talking, I'm thinking reacting versus creating. You choose. We get to choose that whether we, and the thing about it is, we respond to circumstances. You mentioned that. You said we respond to circumstances. Now, in everything that we do, we're responding. Like right now, attractive thinker, you're responding to something. You're responding to this message that you're hearing right now. And your response is either you stopped what you were doing when you heard this message, you grabbed your attractive thinker notebook and you're now capturing these gems, or you turned the volume down or changed the channel or went to another station or whatever. And the thing is, you're either reacting or creating. When you were talking to Shay, I also thought about how we're spending our energy all day long. Reacting and creating is in the form of your energy, how you're responding, how you're using your life to respond to life circumstances. And when you're reacting or creating, you're also, when it comes down to your energy, you're also either wasting it or investing it, because you're going to spend it. You're spending your energy right now. You're either going to waste it or you're going to invest it. And right now you're investing your energy because you're listening to this message. So some of the things that I want to share, you said take the responsibility to create something new versus responding to what is. That's a powerful statement right there when it comes down to reacting. So if we're talking about our energy and us as people, you might say, well, what are we reacting to? We're reacting to life circumstances, like you said. So life happens all day long, every day. It's called life. How we respond to it is based on whether we are reacting, have a reacting response, or we have a creating response, meaning something happens or something pops up or something unexpected or even something joyful. How are we going to respond to it in a way that takes away its powerful effects, in a way that makes it have a negative turn, in a way that produces a negative outcome? Or are we going to take that experience and treat it in a way which goes in the direction of what we want from it? Treat it in alignment with what you want from it. Now, we all are I won't say victims, but we all have experience responding and reacting to circumstances in a way that is not creating the outcome that we desire. We all have experienced that. So in a case like that, it calls for assessment. To check, you said we have to pay attention to our lives. And I'm telling you, attractive thinker, I've had to do it, and I consistently have to do it, paying attention to my energy and my interactions. And when I pay attention to my energy, you could feel, you mentioned this earlier, Tisha, you could feel a shift in your energy. You can feel on the inside when your energy changes, whether it's in a room or around a certain person or doing a certain thing, or you're experiencing, or you embarked upon something, you can feel your inner man is real. Attractive thinker, what you feel is real. So if you get nothing else out of this message today, understand that what you feel is a real thing. It's a real being inside of you that's just like the being that you see when you look in the mirror every day. There's another you, an inner you in there that's invisible, but it moves, it shifts, it gets triggered, it responds, and it nudges you. Um, it'll give you unctions. You'll feel things. It gives you, people call it goosebumps. That inner being is responding to your life experiences. Now, how you respond to that response when you feel that inner being, for example, when you're out and about and you're encountering people, are you going to respond to what's being presented to you, or are you going to take what's being presented and shape it and shift it into an outcome that you desire? Now, that takes being diligent and really paying attention to your life. I've had to do that, like, intentionally. Now, I haven't passed the test in all of these areas. Early on, I'm gonna share something with you. Early on in my life, Tashet, I was the type of person that would give you the shirt off of my back and support you. I'm still like that, but it's more in a mature way now, and more in a protective way for me, because you got to set up boundaries when you're a giver. But early on in my life, I'll say, even as a child, I can remember early on as a child, um, I I would be this way to people, very helpful. And as soon as I realized, see that energy on the inside, as soon as I realized that somebody is trying to take advantage of that energy, or somebody is contrary or resistant to that energy, or something shady is going on, there's this thing that would rise in me, that will set up a boundary. It's like it just rises, and all of a sudden all your guards are up. All your four corners are protected. And the response wasn't a healthy, mature response, because it's like, I got to protect myself, because I feel threatened. You know what I mean? Your guards are down. I feel threatened. So the response wasn't one in a way that I would respond today. When I was younger, to shed, I was a fighter. Even in school, guys would pick on me, girls would pick on me, whatever. And if they didn't leave me alone, we got into a fight. I mean, rolling around on the floor fighting, because again, responding and not creating the outcome that I desire. Didn't I was clueless. It was off of my radar that I could change outcomes.
Mhm.
Never even considered it. It was always in response mode, always reacting to, what was being presented. Now, there were certain times, whereas, as you grow and mature, there were certain times whereas I went on silent mode. Silence is a boundary as well. Silence is a way of protecting yourself as well. When you can't come up with a proper response that's healthy, silence is golden. Just being quiet, just not responding is enough.
Mhm.
You're holding on to and protecting your energy. How many times have you, attractive thinker and visual encourager, responded in a way whereas you felt bad afterwards, or you had to
Mhm.
apologize afterwards, or you felt guilty and shameful? We all have been there. I have been there. I've had to say, well, you know what? I responded this way because of this and that and the other. I apologize. I shouldn't have responded that way. And here's the kicker. Even though I still disagree, or even though I meant what I said, the clarity has to be a part of it, has to be a factor there as well, because there's a reason why we respond the way we do. There's a reason why we respond the way that we do. And if you're an attractive thinker and visual encourager such as yourself, your heart is good. Your heart is good. You don't make, it doesn't mean you make the mark every single time, but it means that you're aware of these life experiences. And once you get that clarity that you're now creating versus responding, you're paying more attention to your life. You're more intentional. You're on guard. Now here's the thing. When you're guarding your energy and you're paying attention to your life, everybody's not going to like that. Everybody's not going to like that. And you're going to have to be strong enough to be okay with that, because this is how you protect and guard yourself. Your peace is your own priority. Your peace is your responsibility. You know, your sanity is your responsibility. And the definition of sanity to you is not the same definition of sanity for others. And you have to be okay with that. So reacting versus creating, I think, Tisha, it comes in levels, and those levels are levels of maturity, levels of consciousness, levels of awareness. And in the process of that, you know, when you're not at the level whereas you can totally create and from an experience what you used to respond to in a not so good way, when you're not at that level yet, you it, however way you handle that and clarify or get that or clear that up, you still have to love yourself through this process. You still have to not be so hard on yourself through this process, because we're not perfect. And you know, my son said to me the other day, he said, "Mom, we have to remember that when we're interacting with people, people respond based on their childhood. This is deeper than, oh, they were just trying to be nasty with me, or oh, they were just trying to be funny or trying to be smart. People are responding based on their childhood, based on their upbringing, based on program, based on trauma and triggers. People's responses are coming from somewhere. And a lot of time, you know, I saw a comment on social media recently, and the woman was saying the people that you that when you look at them, they look the meanest, the angriest, the most disturbing people turn out to be the most nicest people you ever want to meet in on this planet. And sometimes when I read that comment, immediately I thought about what kind of person that could be, that would look mean or snap at you or be angry, and you introduce yourself or you get to know, and they turn out to be the nicest person. Could it be that life experiences that they have encountered along the way, they've had to set up these boundaries and these guards, and now they're functioning from that place and not even knowing it? They're functioning in peaceful settings as if it was an assault, functioning in settings whereas they're not under attack, but they still feel threatened. And that's why it's important to, you know, to be honest with you, people used to say that about me. Say, oh, she looks so serious, or oh, she looks so mean. And they would hesitate to approach me. And then once they got to know me, they said, "Oh, my God, you're the sweetest person." They said, "Why are you so quiet?" Or "Why do you look so serious all the time?" You don't know my journey. You don't know. See, everybody's personality is different. You don't know my journey. You don't know what it took for me to get here. And I'm very cautious and observant and particular about who I share my energy with, because when you have good energy, everybody wants some of it, and they don't have good intentions for your good energy. So, attractive thinker and visual encouragers, I hope you're capturing these gems. There's a reason why we respond the way that we do. So, instead of reacting now, just pause. Tichet I will say, perfected the art of just being quiet, the
Mm-hmm.
art of just walking away.
Mm-hmm.
People that are close to me, they know if I'm out and about and we're in a group setting and things are kind of shady and the energy isn't right, I just kindly back myself right on up out of that circle, and before you know it, I've moved over to the right and the left, and I'm out of there. Because you don't have to participate or give everybody act you don't have to participate in everybody's energy in every circumstance, and you don't have to give everybody access to your energy and your power. Do you know your energy is where your power is? And what affects your energy affects your power, your ability to keep creating as an entrepreneur, an attractive thinker, your ability to be clear headed and level headed, your ability to keep believing in yourself. All your energy, all of that is affected by your energy. So who you give access to, whoever you allow access to your energy, you're also allowing them access to your power. Tishet, talk to us today about
You
reacting versus creating.
you hit the nail on the head. The thing about it is most people don't know our most valuable currency is our energy and our time more than our money, right? And we're responsible. We have the ability to take responsibility concerning our money, our time, and our energy the same way, right? How you do anything is how you do everything. A lot of us don't know that we can create a new response, that we don't have to keep reacting the way we were expected to react. We can create a new situation um, that is worthy of a response. See, one of the things with me learning how to be silent and learning how to be okay with people being angry with me, people walking away from me, it and a lot of that used to really ride me. I used to have a lot of guilt and peace. I didn't want nobody to be mad at me. I didn't want, anything to happen. I didn't want to upset nobody. But in this day and age, as you said, maturity, I'm okay with it because I'm not okay with people thinking it's okay to upset me, where
Mm,
people think it's okay that I have to be the way they want me to be. And if I'm not the way they want me to be, they get to dictate anything over here. I'm out of people dictating anything over here. So you can say rebellious or what have you, but one thing I am is peaceful. Because I had the art of letting go, the art of being silent, um, the protecting of my heart, the understanding that my heart, my spirit, my soul was my most valuable treasures. And I was responsible to protect those and to build them and to not let anybody come in and stomp on them. And you said something, you said sanity is your responsibility, right? Sanity is your responsibility. That's another thing that we don't recognize is that nobody is going to come and give you sanity. If you feel like you're going insane, nobody's coming to give you insanity. You have to take that. You have to be bold enough to say, I don't want no more. I can't eat none of this. I can't, we receive life through our gates, through our eyes, through our ears, through our nose, through our mouth, through our touch, our five senses. That's how we observe life, right? We don't have to roll with the punches. There should not be any punches. You know what I mean? We don't have to get beat down in life so much that we feel like we're going crazy. And
mm,
so when we are observing life through our five senses and we see something that's not right, we have a choice. We could either, if we see something that's not right, we could either choose to react concerning what we think is going on, or we can figure out the information and create a different scenario, a different room. Sometimes creating is not all about just putting this together. Sometimes creating is walking away. Sometimes creating is seeing the foolishness over here and then taking yourself and removing yourself from the situation, because now you need an empty slate. You need to start somewhere where you can rebuild yourself without having the interactions or the effects of whatever was going on over here that was making you feel insane. If you feel like you're in a place of life where you can't take it no more, I want to tell you the good news that the life you love is calling you at this moment. All possibilities are available for you right now, or you wouldn't even be listening to this message, because nothing is coincidental. I want to tell you to remind yourself that everybody has their journey. None of us are experts at our journey. I can't be an expert at Toni's journey. Toni can't be an expert at my journey. I'm still trying to be an expert at my journey, right? But when you are on a journey, it's for experience, not necessarily to gather expertise. Sometimes you're gonna try things that you're not gonna like, and that should be okay. Sometimes you're gonna be requested to go somewhere
Mhm.
and you're not going to want that experience, and that should be okay, right? And that doesn't mean that we have to allow ourselves to be open to other people's opinion for us, where we think that they're an expert more at us than we are, so they get to dictate and tell us what we need to do because they're more expert at what we need to do than we are. We have to take control of those situations, and we have to say, no, that's not for me. But that comes with paying attention. That comes with building a life, that wanting to build a life so much that pleases you so bad, that has peace and love and all the things that you desire and vision that you want, that is calling you. You can feel the passion of it. It's calling you every day, and you taking responsibility to create it, even if that means losing everything else but yourself. Remember, we don't lose ourselves. We are able to, well, I could do without anything, but I can't do without me. What do I do when I do without me? Everybody can be mad at me, but if I'm mad at me, that's the heaviest thing, we can deal with. So if you feel like you're in regret and you're losing your mind and you're going insane, I just want you to know that even though you're on this journey, you have a fresh start. You have the ability to stop it all and recreate. You might be sick. Perhaps you believe in healing. If you believe in healing, then healing will definitely find you. If you believe in power, then power will find you. If you believe in creativity, creativity will find you. Some of us are not mentally ill, some of us are mentally tired, and we need to know that we are already equipped with the strength that it takes to create a life that doesn't cause us to be tired all the time. We have the ability to say no to the things that weigh us down and to say yes to the things that lift us up. But if we're always reacting to what we think something is and not giving ourselves a fighting chance, how do we get to a place where we can create something other than what we're used to reacting to? Life has cycles, and people and everybody has their journey, right? And sometimes you got to let people be okay with the journey, but you got to first learn to be okay with your journey. You got to be okay with being okay. You got to be okay with not wanting to put yourself through situations that's causing you to have to rebuild yourself for 3 days. Not having conversations with somebody for 15 minutes and have to pick yourself up for a whole week. You have to be okay with that, right? Now, guilt will keep us in situations that don't that doesn't ignite us, that doesn't lift us up, that doesn't help us to create. Shame will cause us to keep beating ourselves down for not making a better decision. Fear will cause us to not go towards creating because we don't know what's out there. In order to create, that means, that is when you're creating something, that means you haven't already seen it manifested physically. So you're going out there to create something, to manifest something that goes towards, from a thought to manifestation, right? And so I'm telling you that if you're going insane, that is because it's time for you to create something new. And the life you've been trying to get used to, you can't get used to because it's not for you. It's
Mhm.
for you to create something new, to create something different. And that means you have to step out of your fear and allow yourself to face things, because there's nothing out there to fear but fear itself. Because once you face the fear, it was really not really anything to fear. It was just an illusion. So you have to stop believing in the illusion that was painted to you and go out there and create a reality that you can be proud of.
Mm.
It's calling you. That's why you can't get comfortable in that old place, in that old job with that old people. You can't. And when I say old people, I don't mean age. I mean old friends, old relatives that always making you feel low self-esteem, or making you feel like you're not worth nothing. All those people who told you ain't amount to nothing. You don't have to keep putting yourself in those situations. You can create a circle that uplifts you. Instead of keep responding to people who tell you you can't, create a circle of people who tell you you can. People who support your vision. Create a family that is stronger than the family you were born in. Just because you're blood does not mean that you're all going to go in the same direction and do the same thing, unless you keep responding or reacting to the generational curses over and over again. Everybody has done this, so I'm going to do this. Grandma did it, mommy did it, so I'm going to do this. But you don't even want to do it. There's something in your spirit that says I want to do something different, but you got to step out of the guilt and allow yourself to create something new for your generations after you. But it's going to take you being okay with people being mad, being okay with people walking away from you. Because if I didn't walk away from me, as long as I have me, I'm okay, because in me is all I need. In me is the spirit, and in me will attract people who support me. In me will attract somebody who when I'm going to love myself does not get in the way of that. And people who support self-care, who's not looking at me like I'm selfish. They know with self-care, we all win. Because what good am I if I can't do anything for you, if I'm weighed down by responding and fighting for my life? We don't have to keep fighting for our life anymore. It's done. We have to start creating a life that flows in a way where we don't feel like we're fighting all the time. We don't have to fight all the time. We have to have that courage to see beyond what we're looking at, and focus on it till it manifests. We have to have the courage to manifest. That's not easy, but it's definitely possible. It's easier said than done, but it's definitely necessary. We have to necessarily create a life of manifestation for the vision that we've had, for the perception that we want to have, instead of the perception that we was given. That's why you got to sometimes shift your perception in order to move forward. Dr. Toni, another thing you said too, we were talking about triggers, right? And this is why we say pay attention. When you're going through life reacting to stuff, 9 times out of 10, you're reacting to things that trigger you. Something happened and they made you upset and you're mad, and now your spirit gone down. You were having a great day. And when you had a great day, somebody came to you and they said this, that, and the other, and they pulled on your energies, energy vampires, and come and suck your energy dry, right? And now, after you're finished that conversation, you're so weighed down because you were so busy responding to what they were saying, and you're going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And that's what we got to do. We got to stop going back and forth with people. Leave them to their journey. Leave them for their limitations. Abraham Hicks says, we're not arguing for your limitations.
Yes.
If you want to keep your limitations, you have that right. But if I desire to go forward and break every limit that I thought was on me, that's my right as well. We have a right to be loved, a right to be cherished, a right to be peaceful. We have a right to build a life that we're proud of. We have a right to be proud of ourselves. So if you have been fighting a life that's causing you to go insane, that you keep responding to and reacting over, it's time for a change. So one of the things you will have to do is to forgive yourself for the ideas you had about yesterday. Because you did the best that you could with what you knew at the time. As you were going along, you were responding. You was not intentionally creating, but then when you were creating, you created out of the best of your heart that you knew. And
Mhm.
for that, if you did your best, be proud of yourself, right? You might not have gotten all the outcomes you wanted, but you definitely moved forward. You definitely got the lesson and the blessing if you were creating, right?
Mhm.
You have to forgive yesterday, period. So
Mhm.
in yesterday is a lot of things. There's a lot of lessons, blessings, but there's also some hurts. There's also some mistakes, some regrets. We got to let a lot of that stuff go. Those bags of resentment and regret, and I wish I shoulda, woulda, and coulda,
Mhm.
all that stuff can't go in you with creating. Just like that's like putting eggshells in a cake when you're trying to just use the egg. Sometimes you got to know when to separate the yolk from the white. You have to know, you have to have that discernment. And that comes from paying attention to what triggers you. What triggers you in a way that you end up being on fire, where you're good, you're hyped up? What triggers you in a way where you're angry, the bad type of fire? What triggers you? And this is why I said you have to pay attention to your body, because you have to pay attention to when you're normal, you have your foundational way of being. And when that foundational way of being changes, what was the change? Was it for the good or for the better? Or was it for bad? And if it was for bad, then you have the ability to create a space where that trigger does not have to be.
Yes.
You don't have to be around people that trigger you in a way that will sacrifice your whole dream and visions and goals. You don't have to be in a, you don't have to go nowhere. You don't have to do a thing. You just have to be you.
Mhm.
You're not obligated to do things for people. When you do stuff for people, it should be out of the kindness of your heart. It should be with cheerfulness. It should be when you're ready to give 100%. If you can't give 100%, just don't give it all. And the reason why we don't give 100% is because that's not something we want to do. So
Mhm.
we have to be true to ourselves, to what it is we desire to do. And that comes from paying attention. Some of us don't know what we want to do. We don't know what we want to be. We just know we want to be. And sometimes that's going to have to be enough for you to say, all right, well, I'm going on this journey. I will find out on the way. But all I do know is I don't want this.
Mhm.
I would rather be alone than be with somebody who makes me feel alone every time we're together. I
Mm.
would rather sit somewhere by myself than to, you know how they say misery loves company?
Mhm.
I promise that I will not be the company that it keeps. So I'd rather be somewhere by myself than to keep the company of somebody who loves misery. And that's because when I'm by myself, I get to learn what's really in me. And then I can create a vibration that attracts people who will have ideas and thoughts and interactions and their own stories and their own journeys and their own visions and their own goals that they can share. And now we can go back and forth in a conversation that ignites, not drain. Conversations is supposed to be a transference of thoughts, ideas, and energy, such as this one. If you are transferring thoughts, ideas, and energy that are draining, I'm here to let you know you don't have to. You don't have to. It's as simple as saying and walking away, closing your lips and walking away. You don't have to respond to everything. You don't. Just because something called out to you does not mean you have to respond. I had to learn that even with the phone. When somebody called my phone, I have to know what state of mind I'm in before I answer,
That's right.
based on the history
Mhm.
that's going on and what I'm trying to what I'm trying to create. I have to look at my phone and say, am I strong enough? I know this person
Mm.
has a habit of telling me they're dumping on me, and
Mm.
they have a habit of dumping on me so much so that when I get off the phone, I have to end my day.
My
So
God.
then when I look at the phone, I have to have the boldness to let it ring,
Mm.
to
Mm.
not say nothing. Sometimes saying nothing is better than something, and if you ain't saying something worthy. It's better than something if you're not saying something worthy.
That's
you
right.
know. So um we have to be mindful of who we are and understand that we all have a right to our journey. We all have a right to our peace, and so do they. Let them have their journey, and you take responsibility of creating yours from this day forward. Back to you, Dr. Tony.
Oh my God, so fantastic and amazing. Tichet, you said our most valuable currency is energy. And with that said, attractive thinker and visual encourage, I want you to pay close attention here before we close out. You said you have to stop going back and forth with people, and you have the right to decide to go forth in your life. Just like they have the right, you've said this before, just like they have the right to stay where they are. When we think about energy being our most valuable form of currency, you also said it's going to take being okay with people being mad at you. If you understand that energy is your highest form of currency, y- think about it. Anything that's of value, you protect it. You put a hedge,
Yes.
some kind of security around it, lock it, guard it, bolt it, something when you realize it's of value. Now, here's the tricky part to shed. Sometimes it's hard for people to see themselves as that kind of value, to
Mm-hmm.
put those kinds of guards up for themselves, around their heart, around their energy, around their experience, their being, their presence. You have to first start right there. First, see yourself as highly valuable. I mean, something that's highly valued, there's you see security guards around it, you see it locked up somewhere, you see it pulled away from everything else, it's sitting somewhere by itself. It's rare and unique. It can't be touched. People are watching. It's cameras on it. Think about that, attractive thinker. That's how I want you to see yourself as valuable. That's how I have to see myself as valuable every single day during my mental breakfast. I have to constantly keep reminding my mind. This stuff doesn't just happen automatically because we're teaching it. We're teaching what we're doing, what we have to do every single day in order to show up and share this message with you. These are the same things that we have to do. So when you were talking about, it's going to take you being okay with people being mad at you. So I want you to turn to page 516 in your attractive thinker experience. I know you have your copy from Amazon, as we all do. So, page 516, the title of that section is People Are Spirits and Energy Does Not Lie. Now, on the page opposite that, page 517, I want to share something with you. Entrepreneurship is about relationships. So, remember, Tishet said, your highest form of currency is energy. Your energy is very valuable. So, entrepreneurship is about relationships. As an entrepreneur, you're building relationships with your clients, your customers, your team, your business partners, your the banks, corporations, investors, and other business owners, right? So you're creating solutions for them by way of your products and services. Understanding that people are spirits and they carry energy with them will help you to make decisions as to what type of energy will create a great outcome for you. Understanding that energy is king and entrepreneurship is about relationships, meaning you have to consistently interact with all different forms of energy all throughout your day. So, a person with great energy connecting with your great energy should produce a greater experience with great ideas, great opportunities, collaborations, and solutions. It should. One of my children said to me when they were talking about the dating process and relationships, they said, I'm already great. And me connecting with a person who's already great should make me greater. See, that's you got to do an energy check. And in this attractive thinker experience, we have an energy check in here, a list of things that you can do to check the energy before you make a decision. Because sometimes we don't know. Sometimes we're caught up. Sometimes we're distracted. Sometimes we're not aware. But we have an attractive thinker energy check right here for you to check the energy before you make a decision. It says your life should be greater as a result of connecting with another person who has great energy. If energy does not lie, check your energy around certain people to see if your energy is increasing, decreasing, fluctuating, resisting, connecting. or vibrating higher before you plug in and connect. This is why it's important for you to have this resource, the Attractive Thinker Experience on Amazon. So I want you to think about this, Attractive Thinker. We have so delighted being with you today and sharing this awesome message, lessons and blessings that we've gathered along the way on our entrepreneurial journey, on our Attractive Thinker journey as a visual encourager. You can't be a visual encourager and not have learned something and not have had experienced something that caused shifts in your life and shaped you into a person who can now impart wisdom and healing to others. So I'm glad that you're listening. I'm glad that you tuned in. I want to encourage you to hit that like button, leave some comments. We love engagement. Tell us what you're getting from these messages. Tell us what types of messages or topics you would like for us to discuss. Subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you don't miss any episodes. We are the Attractive Thinker generation, a community, a family here to support you with mental health while you're creating. While you're creating, not responding, but creating. And we have tools to support you with your response. I want you to capture these gems. When this message ends, I don't want it to end with you. Read your notes in your Attractive Thinker notebook and reminisce, put yourself in the setting of what made you write that particular note down. What was coming up for you in order for you to write that particular note down. Maybe that's an area that you can put some focus in your energy in there and see if you can make the necessary shifts so that you're not responding, but now you're creating the outcome that you desire. We all have to do this. We're in this together. We all have to do. Nobody's exempt from mastering their energy and placing security around their responses, around their heart, which is your most valuable asset. Nobody is exempt from that. I want you to visit the attractivethinker.guru and place your information in the box. There's some free resources there for you to support you in creating and getting clarity. Sometimes you don't have direction, you don't know which way to go. We have some free resources there for you on the website. And visit Amazon and get your copy if you do not already have that. The Attractive Thinker Experience, this 726-page book. You will find yourself somewhere in this experience and get the tools that you need to have you to start your day with your mental breakfast, to set your mind right, to do your energy check, to know what to say and how to respond, and continue to create, like Tichet said, the life that you love and the life that you deserve. Tichet, tell our audience how they can get in touch with you, the visual encourager.
Absolutely. You can find me on my website at www.visualencouragement.com. We provide mental support for movers and shakers, for trailblazers, pathfinders, and groundbreakers. Calling all of you visionaries who desire to move mountains but need help lifting the heaviness so that you can create a new vision for yourself. Go to my contact us page, put in your information. Let me know how I can uplift you, enlighten you, and encourage you so you can live a life of fulfillment beyond the break. Again, that's www.visualencouragement.com. See you soon.
Awesome. Attractive thinkers, you always hear us say, our life's work, that's to make your life better. Remember, it is not what you're going through, it's how you're doing it. Think attractively. We'll see you soon.